Hey everyone. Okay, today I wanted to share with you how to build your own quiz. So, I am having a ton of responses, not only of like how fun this brand quiz is that I launched last week, but also I've been getting a lot of other entrepreneurs reaching out to me and being like, this is so freaking fun. How can I implement this in my business? It's such a fun way to provide information, be educational, be really engaging, and at the same time, you could be making sales too. So, this is a really, really fun concept, and I'm so glad that I ran with it for myself because the responses from all of you have been just phenomenal. If you have not taken the brand quiz yet that I am referring to, it is in all of my Facebook banners. The link is there. I'll put the link in this as well. So you guys, it's like really easy to do, but it's free to do the quiz. It's like less than 2 minutes. You run through it. You get a result at the end that is crazy informative. Like the amount of time I spent on each of those results is meant to give you a lot of information. So it's really robust. But on top of that, you get an automated email that follows up with you, gives you the mood board that matches the result of the quiz that you got. And then on top of that, you're getting even more information and you're getting nurtured from me in those email sequences. And there is a follow up upsell that happens at the end. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're wanting to see the flow of what this is that I'm talking about, go and take the quiz. All you have to do is give your email, right? I'm not going to spam you. You'll end up on the Social Jane email list. And I don't spam you. I hardly ever even sell in my emails. It's really more about sharing information and sharing like valuable stuff, podcasts, and things of that nature. So give me your email. You can go take the quiz and you can see what this flow is that I'm talking about. So what I wanted to do today was there's two different platforms. I'm going to show you a little bit from each, but just know that if you want all of the automation and the automated email sequences that integrate into an upsell and all of those things, it's not going to be available on the free versions of these platforms. But for the sake of showing you how this is done, I just wanted to get this in front of your eyes because I've had, gosh, at least 10 or more people in the last week reach out to me saying, can you build me this quiz? This is amazing. I want to do this for my business because it can be implemented into any kind of industry. Honestly, it could work for anything. And you'll see because there are templates here that can help you kind of be a springboard. So I'm going to share my screen with you and just keep in mind, this is pretty robust. And if you are someone who likes to get into things and play around and all of that, I would highly encourage you to get a free account and start playing around with it and see if you like it. I do actually have affiliate links for these things that they may give you a discount of some kind. I'm not really sure. I'll put the links here and you're welcome to click on them. But with each of the platforms, like I mentioned, you're going to have to pay for the actual platform itself if you want to do all of the integrations. But there's ways around it. You could kind of duct tape the stuff together and keep it free to at least get you started. But you'll start to recognize it is quite it's quite robust building these out, and a lot of the ins and outs of it can be a little bit tricky. So if you're not super techy or you just don't have the time to do it, that is something that I'm willing to offer to you as a service, right? Since I do the branding, so you know it's going to look really gorgeous, but I also do some of the tech stuff because I just built this quiz for myself less than like 2 weeks ago, and I had a really good time doing it. So I do have a whole form that if you're someone who knows you definitely don't want to do this yourself, even after watching this training, then I'll put the link to the form here in this video so you can take a look at what that looks like for me to do the work for you. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen and we are going to dive right in. So entire screen, share, and boop. Okay. So the first platform I wanted to show you was Involve.me. This is actually the platform I started to use when I first had this whole idea like, okay, what's your brand vibe, right? You see it here. I don't actually have this quiz published on this platform because I decided to use a different platform. Honestly, I don't really have a really good reason as to why I used the other platform over this one because they're both really user friendly and they're both really fun. So that's why I want to show you both. So we've got your workspace here. You can totally get a free account to get in and play around. The only thing that won't come with the free stuff is the integrations, like I was mentioning. So you can, let's say you have Aweber as your email platform, you could integrate that. ConvertKit, Airtable is something new if you saw my training with Jen Johnson recently. But there's all sorts of integrations you can do here, and you can even sell stuff straight from the quiz, right? You could integrate Stripe. So this is pretty freaking awesome. But you would have to upgrade in order to get the integrations and the automation piece set. But that doesn't mean you can't have a quiz. Like with the free version, you can still have a quiz and you can still be capturing emails. You're just going to have to manually do something with those emails. But why not get started at least, right? So let's go to projects. And I'm going to show you what some of these templates look like and how to sort of click around inside of stuff. So new project, you could absolutely start from scratch. A lot of people don't want to do that. So let's start from a template. And you can narrow down the type of what you're looking to do. I mean, you could even do like landing pages inside of here. You can do quizzes. For the sake of this particular training, we're going to do a quiz because that's what everyone has been asking for me to show you. So here are some of the quiz templates. A couple reasons why a template would be good is if you're not familiar with all the different pieces of what's possible to go into your quiz, it could be smart to start from a template. With that being said, though, it could in the long run take you longer to complete the project when utilizing a template because it's branded for something else, right? It's not branded for your business. So when you get into all of the nitty gritty of changing all the hex codes, the colors, changing all the fonts, changing how this answer matches to this result, all of those types of things, in the long run, it could almost take you longer to use a template. But for the sake of just having fun and playing around in a free account, start from the template and just see how it goes. So let's do a skincare one, right? If you want to just preview it first to see what you like and don't like about it, you absolutely can do that. We're just going to choose it because we're just going to dive right in and see what it looks like. So project name, what is your skincare or skin type? Yes. Project type. So these are the different ways that how people answer it will produce results. So you could guide your users all the way through just to a final page, and you could have all the information just on one page. Answer-based outcomes. This could be guiding your users to different final pages. So if you took my brand quiz, if you've taken it multiple times, right? I know some people that have taken it multiple times. You might get a different answer based on how you answer each question. You're going to get a different result because each question is mapped specifically to one of those results. So answer-based outcomes, that's how that would be. So if you have a series of questions and then you have, let's say, 4 or 5 different outcomes, this is the one you want to choose. And then, of course, you could guide your users to different final pages based on their score. And the score value system, like that one I didn't play with. So we're going to do answer-based outcomes. That's the one I'm familiar with. And I think that's the fun one because then you can have different results and all of those things. So you've got, let me see if I can move this little dilly. Okay. Sorry, it's the little share bar was in my way. So this is the quiz here, and it's pretty user-friendly, to be honest. You can really drag and drop some stuff into these pages. So like, let's hover over some of these elements, and you can drag right over here, and you could have, if you needed, another button, right? So we X out of that. We don't need that element anymore. And let's say you want this image to be different. You simply click on the image. You grab a file. Let's say I'll just grab a picture of myself. That's right there. Hopefully it's the right kind of size. Okay, there's my face. So you can easily change the images here. When you're clicking on this, this is where you'll go to edit what it says. So if you want your quiz to be named something different, I would highly encourage you to personalize this to yourself. Make it sound like you, make it sound like something you would say, right? And here's your subtext. And when you go over to design and general design settings, this is where you're going to find your fonts, your colors, right? So you've got colors and styles here, your text. Right now it's just like a full black. If you click on this little color, here's where you can put in a hex code. So if you already have branded colors, put them in here. So me personally, I don't like to use like a dark flat black. I use a dark, deep, like charcoal color. And I know the hex code off the top of my head. So I'm just going to put that in here. And now you see it's like a dark charcoal. And I can do that for the elements, any of the highlighted pieces. You can see how down here it says the background is all black. So that's like what's behind all of that. You could even do a background image. So let's do an example just so I can show you what that would maybe look like. Upload a background image. And instead of having just that flat black, you could have an image behind it, and it just sort of makes it just totally changes the vibe, right? So it really depends what it is you're looking to do and what that goal is for you. You've got brightness of the background, so you can kind of make it more transparent, and you could even have a little bit of darkness so it looks like it's got that, keeps that gray tone, the image alignment for all of that. And then, yeah, so you've got all of these elements here under design. And you could even have this sitting completely different, right? So you really can customize, even with these templates, you're not stuck with the template. The template is just there because it has like all of these elements already in it. And so that's really, for me, why I like to start with templates on a brand new platform. Now, after having played with the templates for a little bit, odds are if I go and make a second quiz, I am going to start from scratch because I've learned all the ins and outs of all the different elements that are available to me. And I know it's going to be faster if I just do it myself. But some people aren't like that, right? So something that you'll have to do with these quizzes is you have to give it all of the instruction. So that's why I said in the beginning, there's a lot of moving parts to this. And I really, really spent a good about 2 weeks or so on this project, maybe even 3, to be honest, because I would get in, I would play around with it, and then I would learn something new about it. And I was like, oh, that's going to make it even better. Or maybe I would miss a step, like I would miss linking the button to something or linking one of the question results to something. So there is quite a lot of moving parts to it, but I knew that this training would be beneficial for you guys so you could at least see what's possible inside of these platforms. So the button, we want it to link to the next page, right? Because this is just the start page. This is just, hey, get in. So we want it to link to the next page. And you can set all sorts of parameters inside of here. So let's say we now go to page 2. Okay, well, page 2, we've got our questions. If you do not want the questions to, or the answers to be images, you can change them to just be text. Like, it's really completely up to you on what that looks like. You can do multiple choice, like we could drag that over, and then we could just delete this whole box right here. And then you would have multiple choice instead, which to a degree, this is multiple choice, right? So when you're here and you're clicking on these different answers, this is how you are going to set the behavior of each of the answers. So like I mentioned before, we got the button went to the next page. So here, you want to make sure the answer is required. They have to answer. And we want it to lead us, like what's the click behavior going to be? So here's image number 1. You could, of course, change the image if you wanted by clicking here, but you want to map the outcome. So does answer number 1 mean you have dry skin, oily skin, combination skin? And you can change these results. These are strictly the template results. And so that's why I say sometimes it's better to start from scratch. And sometimes it's fun to just get in and play with a template the first go around so you can learn some of it and then you can kind of back out and you can start your own. But you have to, map an outcome, because what's the point of them answering this if it's not going to take them somewhere else? So we'll say, for the sake of just like examples, we'll say that one's dry skin, this one's oily, and this one is combination, right? You could add another answer here. It doesn't have to just be 3. You could have 4 or 5 or whatever, but that means you're going to have that many results as well. But that's how you would map each of the answers for that particular question, right? And then down here, you want to make sure this button, what does this button do? Again, it takes them to the next page. We want them moving through the quiz. All right, so you guys get an idea of how each of those pages runs, right? And if you like what you did, let's say you really loved what you did on this page, and when you go to page 3, you're like, oh, I don't really like that one. So click something. So go back to hover over page 2, and down here in the corner, you can just duplicate the page. So now page 3 looks like page 2, and then all you would have to do is come in and change the question, make it something different, change your images here and your descriptions, and then make sure that they map correctly to the right kind of result. But if you want each page of your quiz to look relatively the same, that's how you do it. You just duplicate what you just did, right? So now we've got all of our pages filled out, right? Obviously, I'm not going to go through each one of them. You guys get the idea now. So here is the outcome settings. That little branch, that little image down at the bottom is what I clicked on. So if you want to name this differently, let's say we don't want it to say dry skin, you just click on the pencil, you name the result something different. Honestly, I would start with the results and then go to the questions, because when I did this before, I did a lot of the work leading up to it. And then I was like, oh, I kind of want the results to say this instead of this. And I really got very, very intentional about how I wanted, what the result was going to be called, the type of information that was in it. So if I was you, I would start with, what's the end result? Do I want to upsell something? Do I want to provide something for free? Or am I just doing the results page and we're going to stop it right there? Then what results do you actually want for your quiz? Then from those results, get yourself 5 to maybe 12 questions that point to each of those results, right? That's how I would do it. So here's your outcome, and it'll show you which answers are connected to that result currently. So that way, whenever you get to this point in the quiz and you've built out all of your question pages, you can see, oh, okay, this question is mapped to this result. That makes sense. Maybe you made a mistake, so you need to go back and make an adjustment. You can totally do that. So we're going to save that. And then here are each of your results pages. So when you click on the results, you'll see there's so much good information already here. You can use some of this. Like, you don't have to change all of it, but make sure it sounds like you, And of course, if you want to change anything, you just click on that element and it'll show up here on the right-hand side where you can make any of your adjustments. You can change the image itself right here. You could even have the image link to something. That's what's really cool about these results pages. You could have, like, let's say you put an image here and you want a URL to a new tab. You could put your Facebook group here. You could put a landing page URL here. You could put your website here. Like, it really just depends what you've got going on and where you want to drive traffic. I would highly recommend just a Facebook group. Like, where is that container of people that you are always nurturing? that's where you want to lead people. And of course, make it make sense for what this quiz is about. If you're doing a skincare quiz and then you point people to like a website that has recipes for food, that doesn't really make sense. So like, make it make sense. But you can link all sorts of stuff here. It's really cool, very intuitive. As you scroll down and you get over here to sort of the meat of everything, you can go over to design and you can make sure that you've got the stuff that you like. Like if you don't want it center aligned, you want it left aligned. You want your colors to be totally different. Like you can make your color whatever you want it to be, right? Let's say that's the color I use a lot. Obviously, I wouldn't use it here because you can't hardly see it, but for the sake of just showing you guys what's what. And then you can change everything here if you want. It's really up to you. It'll all populate right over here for you to do so. And then call to action, put a call to action on this page. People aren't going to know to click on that image. By linking something to that image, that's sort of an accidental win. If someone just accidentally clicks on it and it takes them somewhere, then they're like, oh, cool. People are used to clicking on shit on their phone and it taking them somewhere. Like, that's why it's smart to do. It's really smart to just link any image you ever put in your emails or on stuff like this. If the image is able to be clickable and linked to something, it's really smart to do that because people are used to clicking on stuff and being taken somewhere else. They almost expect it. So your button, obviously, you would want to put in, like, let's say, book a call or come join my Facebook community, whatever the call to action is going to be. Obviously, type it here and then put the link right here. And then let's say we wanted to add some more elements, right? If you want to add another image, we add another image. You just drag and drop. Let's say schedule appointments. Okay, we've got Calendly can be integrated into InvolveMe. Like, how cool is that, right? There's other Cal.com, HubSpot. So it depends what you have and if it's able to be integrated into InvolveMe. But remember, all the integrations are not on the free version. So if you want to, well, actually, this seems like it might be free. Let me test this for you. Oops. And why is this not working? Calendly. That's why. Spelling it wrong. Okay. Let's see. I just really want to like try this for you guys. Sorry, I have LastPass and it's like all your passwords from clients and stuff just like automatically in there. It's really cool, but okay, let's copy link and let's just try this. Paste. I'm just wondering if it'll give me like an alert. Look at that. Okay, the free version allows you to put your Calendly link. So cool. See, when you give yourself permission to just play around, you're always going to find something cool. I love that. I didn't even see that before. How fun. So you can put your calendar in there if you want something, someone to book a call with you or whatever that looks like, you know. You could even embed like a video. Let's say you've got a YouTube video, Vimeo, an HTML. Okay, so let's say YouTube, you've got a video that you want to share and it helps promote the next thing, you know, where people can go, or it's a little sneak peek of something that is relative to the quiz that they just took, right? You always want to be building on top of the information that you're providing and just going one step further. So when someone gets to this results page, not only are they like, oh my gosh, this was the coolest quiz ever. Like, how neat. And then they get there and they're like, whoa, now I can like really see a firsthand view of like what she's about and what she's doing. And you could put a video right here. And then, oh, wait, now I can book a call with her. Oh, this is the best. And you get people clicking around. And before you know it, you have way more interaction and engagement from people that all they did was click a link just to be like, oh, I want to take a fun quiz. And now you've got all of this way of nurturing them. So What comes from here is obviously on each of these results pages. What I would highly recommend is do one results page and like get it exactly like you want it. And then you would just copy the page. And then that way, all you would have to do is change the actual result information that you're providing. But all the sort of extras like embedding a video or getting your Calendly link, all of those things can already be there and you don't have to like drag the element over again. It'll save you time in the long run. So this is basically what you would do. And one thing I did want to add is right here in the middle, when you're done with your questions, you want to capture email. You want to capture email. Can I say that again? You want to capture email. So you want to make sure, where are we going to send the results to? You can say this differently, right? Everything is able to be edited and personalized. So we've got their first name, their email. You can have some other field. If you want to add another field, you could add, I don't know, their birthday. I mean, we don't want to be asking for somebody's blood type or whatever. Like, all you really need is their name and their email. So make sure that both of them are required. We don't want a nameless person, right? So name and email required. And you're going to make sure that, says submit. You can kind of get rid of this stuff, the subscribe to the newsletter. You can get rid of those if you don't really want them, if you're not going to really do anything with them. So just make sure at the end of your question pages, you hit that plus sign and you're going to get the contact form. And then you've got your results here. So people don't get the result without giving you their email, and that's totally fine. People want to see the result. And what's giving up your email? They can always unsubscribe if they don't like what they're seeing, right? But don't be spammy in your emails and people will stick around. So this is how involve.me works. Now, I'm not going to spend a ton of time over inside of Interact because it is very, very similar. So this is the platform that I chose to utilize for my quiz. Every brand has a vibe. So if you have seen this quiz, right, this is what it looks like when you click on it. It's all over my socials now. I've been using it everywhere and it's so fun. You can embed this. I embedded this into my website. If you saw my post just the other day, I was able to copy this JavaScript code right here and embed it right into the website. So when you're on the site itself, you don't even have to leave the site. You just take the quiz, you get the results. Everything on the results page is clickable without ever leaving the website. It's so fucking cool. But I want to show you guys over here. These look just a little different, but they all kind of act a bit the same. So let's say we'll just use this template, go to a quiz. And here we've got that main home screen, right? Just like we had on the other page. Your button, you can change the color of like what this button looks like, the progress bar, all of your colors are here if you're wanting to change them. You can change the text that you're using, the color of the font, you can change the image, like all of these things can be edited and changed, same as the other platform. And then when you get over to questions, you can change the types of questions you have. So let's say I wanted to use image answers, then I would have to just upload some images here versus text answers. And then right here, what's mostly different about this platform versus the Involve platform is that when you're doing that sort of branch, like where the questions actually get connected to the results, that happens on each of the question pages right here, edit result correlations. And then you would just click and be like, okay, that's where that one's going, but maybe that's not where it's supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to be down here. And so you would just change it. Like, it's really, really simple. You just have to click and play around, right? And so here, and you can change these. Like if you just wanted to say something different, you just type in it. I think the reason I chose this platform over the other one was I could do all of the changes and all of the edits like on this screen. I didn't have to click the element, then go over here, find where to change it. It just was a little bit faster and a little easier. So that's why I chose this one. But both of these have a 14-day free trial. I'm pretty sure 14 days is accurate. So if you are somebody who's wanting to get a quiz implemented and get the automation pieces set in place, I would highly recommend doing the 14-day trial. And I know with Interact, because I did the 14-day trial, I got an email maybe 48 hours before. It was like going to actually charge me for a membership to let me know. So it was like, it didn't just charge me without me knowing it. So that's how you get all of your results correlated to the right kind of stuff. You can, of course, add more questions. If you want to delete any of the questions, you just delete the question. You know, you don't have to have all of these. I think my quiz only has like 6 questions. Sometimes you don't need more than that. I know from experience, if I have gone in and I have taken a quiz, by the time I'm getting to like question 10 or 12, I'm just like, can I have the results already? I'm done answering this quiz. So think about those things for yourself. Like think about you as the consumer. Would you want 15, 20, 30 questions? I don't know. You're gonna have to answer that for yourself. Me personally, no. So I'm not going to create a quiz that has that many. I want in, out, fun, informative, and really spot on like content. And that's where the brand quiz was born. So you can, of course, add questions or remove them. And the branching logic, this is something when it's on, you can like change it all up. That's not something that I wanted to do personally. Oh, shoot. Let me see if let's go to, look at me. I just went all the way out of what I was just doing. Oh, there it is. Okay, so let's edit. So I don't necessarily want the branching logic in that way because I'm already mapping the results where I want them to go. So when you click on results, now you can, of course, remove any of these results. You could add results, same as the questions, super simple. But with each of these results, when you click on them, you just click here and you edit it. If you wanted to say something different, you click on this image. You can replace the image. You can even, this is something that's cool here. Let's say you didn't want to upload your own thing. You could just search fire. And it's going to pull from like the world, the great wide web. And then you just save it. So you don't have to have your own images. But for a couple of these, I did go into Canva and I wasn't finding what I wanted on this platform. And so I just went into Canva because there's like 60 million stock images in Canva. And so I was able to find something that I liked a little bit better. But as you're here, change all of this, right? That can all be edited. When you go to these colors, your background image can be edited. All of your calls to action, like you can have stuff that is linked. That's something I didn't actually recognize with Involve.me is if you could link text, but I know with Interact you can. So let's say we wanted this word resources to be clickable and linked. You would just highlight it, click on this, and paste in whatever URL you wanted. So if you take my brand quiz, you'll notice towards the bottom, I have a lot of information that is about like, check out this podcast episode, check out how to make a landing page, book a call. And so I have those calls to action where the image is clickable, the button is clickable, the actual text is clickable because you never know where someone's going to click. And if they decide to click there, you want it to take them somewhere. It really just makes the whole process super seamless. So that's how you would add that. And then, of course, if you wanted to add an image into something, you could, like, let's say if we just did fire again and we click and save, it'll add the image like where your cursor is essentially. So since I was down here, right, I was down here in this section, that's where the image landed because when I uploaded it, right? So that's each of your results, and you can definitely like copy a lot of this information. What I did, because I didn't actually see where you could copy the whole page as itself. So what I did was I just literally the parts that I didn't want to change from each result page, I just highlighted it, copied it, and went over here and pasted it. Like it's as simple as that. You always will find a workaround, right? So those are each of your results. And then lead generation, you want to have your lead gen on because this will be your opt-in form. You can connect your email list. You can map the quiz data to an email list, like based on each answer. Y'all, it's not even just the result. Each answer could be mapped to your email, and you could have an email trigger specifically for how they answered one question. It's crazy. But that's why I say it can get really, really intricate when you really dive deep. So this is what you'll want, obviously, email, first name, if you want to add another field to it. We don't want to allow the users to skip the form, right? We want them to fill out the form, right? They can give you their email just to take this fun quiz. And then you edit so we would just uncheck that. And then this is what your form looks like. And you can change the button color. You can change what it says. And now, next up, you would save and continue, and you go to integration. So with Interact, and with Involve Me, when you do the trial, like the 14-day trial, it'll let you set up all these integrations, and it'll let you really see how involved it can be. And so it's pretty awesome. But here's all of the different integrations. So just like Involve.me, you've got ConvertKit, Aweber, HubSpot, Zapier, ClickFunnels. Like you've got all sorts of stuff inside of here that can be integrated. And the next little page, I'm not going to do it because I already integrated my Aweber, but the next page, it'll take you through the results and then the answers. And then, so it really helps you kind of like drill down into all sorts of different aspects. So, and then you can turn on social sharing settings, which is fun because after someone does the quiz, they could just share it right to their page and be like, oh my gosh, I just took this quiz. This was the result I got. It's so fun. And when they share it, that's a link to your quiz. So anybody that sees it and thinks, oh, that's fucking cool, they click on it and they go take your quiz. And then there you go. You have a whole new pool of people that you are marketing to that aren't even your like people from the get-go, right? They're going to become your people because you're going to nurture them and you're going to educate and be providing loads of information. But that's how you work really, really smart, and you just get your brand and your business in front of more eyes without having to do more work. And then, of course, you could do conversation tracking where you'd have to upgrade your account and it's all sorts of other analytics. I don't care for that at the moment. So let me get back over to StreamYard, stop sharing. This was a lot. I get that. I know it. I was the one doing it. And like I said, I spent a good 2 or 3 weeks building out my own quiz because I really wanted to launch it exactly the way that I knew you guys would absolutely love. And that's definitely what's happened. The responses from people taking the quiz, they're like, this was the most fun. This was so great. And the information was fantastic. And the mood board was fucking great. And then on the flip side, the entrepreneurs are like, I need this for my business. So if you are someone who is wanting a super fun and engaging lead magnet that you can then be actually making revenue from, this is a really fun idea. Really fun idea. And you can get your ROI back in no time at all. Like the money you would spend for the actual platform, the money you would spend if you had me build it out for you, you could get your ROI back like that, because it's so fun and everybody loves taking quizzes. So I'll put all the links here in the description so you guys can click around and like see what makes sense for you. but I hope that you really enjoyed today's training. I know it's only going to resonate with the few people that are like ready for this kind of thing in their business. And that's awesome. If you're not there yet in your business and you're seeing this and it's looking really exciting, get a free account and go play around. You never know what you're going to like, what you're going to be really good at until you start taking some of that messy action and just getting in and playing. Give yourself permission to play. Give yourself permission to explore and find something new. It does not mean that it has to be implemented into your business today or next week, but you're never going to know if you never try, right? So I hope that today was fun, and building out your own quiz. This can really launch your business and your brand. So until next time, bye guys.